right, here he is, the Moroccan Devil, Youssef Zalal, back on the show now, fresh off his fight with Da'Mon Blackshear this past Saturday at UFC San Diego. Youssef, how are you?
I am good, my man. How are you?
I'm good. I was right on the edge of my seat watching the end of that fight. I thought you were going to get Da'Mon out of there, but Herb Dean didn't step in and call it. Let's just start there. Do you feel like that fight should have been stopped?
I mean, I'm gonna be biased and say, yeah, 100%. I was like, in my head, I was like, come on, Dean. That's the only fight you don't want to stop early, huh? It's okay, but whatever. But it wasn't early, man. Like you can even hear it in the camera. He's like, breathing like that. So it is what it is, man. We move on and learn and just grow. To be honest.
And it was a really close fight. And this is a guy that, even though it was his UFC debut, he's been around the game for a while, fighting at a really high level. So, he was going to come in and be ready for this fight. Did you feel like you still did enough to get your hand raised? I mean, you came on strong there at the end, probably a 10-8 round in the third. Do you feel like you should have won rather than it being a draw?
100%, man. I feel like the judges, like it's the California Commission is weird, man. Like after the weigh-ins, they gave us a paper basically says how to win a fight. Like literally gave us a paper that says, hey, we don't care about the pressure forward. We don't care about this. We don't care about that. I was like, well, that's so stupid to give a fighter right before they weigh in and all that stuff. So as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, it's a red flag already. And then I was like, walking in, I was like, how you scored the first round with 30-second back take won him the round. That makes no sense to me at all. But I had the top and all that stuff. So I was like, for sure. All we knew, like, oh, for sure we won this fight. This first round and third round, especially the third round, 10-8.
So when they handed you that paper saying how to win a fight, what were like the key talking points? What did they say rather than just knock your opponent out or submit him?
Bro, to be honest, I didn't read it. He just told me, he was like, hey, this is the rule, how we do it. This is how it goes. I like this, how to win a fight. And I was like I almost didn't believe him. Like I literally almost didn't believe him. And he says like 10-8, 10, how we give like all the scores and stuff like that. They really don't care about the offense, like the advancement, like you walking down a fighter and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is great news. Like you'll be whooping somebody's ass, and then you'd be like, oh no, it's still 10-9 or 10-10. I'm like, what? This makes no sense.
So I want to ask about the adjustments that head coach Mark Montoya wanted you to make throughout the fight. So after round one, going into 2 and 3, what was he telling you in the corner?
So round two, he wanted me to kind of like pass the guard right away, get my striking going. But when it came to round 3, he was on me, man. He's like, listen, no grappling. We're going straight striking. And I had to listen, man. And I'm glad I listened. That as you can tell, when I listened, it was the best advice ever in a fight. To be honest, I never got a 10-8 round, especially a high caliber guy. Like a lot of guys forget. Like this guy, it's like I moved to bantamweight to be the bigger guy, but he was actually bigger than me. So it was completely different to even see that. You know what I mean?
You were supposed to be fighting Christian Quinones for this fight. So Da'Mon stepped up on short notice, saved the fight for you. How different was it, preparing for Quinones versus Blackshear? How different was their styles as you're getting ready for Da'Mon?
To be honest, it was not a big difference to me. I really didn't care who I fought. All I wanted to do was just a fight, to be honest. And that's all I cared about. But it was the changes, and not like, for me, I thought I was not going to have a fight. That was the scary part about all this, is me not having a fight. And then they was like, oh yeah, we're still looking. And then a week later they showed up, and then they're like, okay, we have you a fight on like a couple days notice.
And I think it goes without saying, Youssef, that you must have had some added pressure on you to win, because you had 3 losses coming into this fight with Da'Mon. What was that like from a mental standpoint?
Man, what you call it? The commentators made it sound so worse. I never said this is the worst experience of my life. I never said none of this. I was like, they straight up lying. I can't wait to see them face to face next time and tell them exactly. I'm like, you guys are straight liars. Like, why would you lie like that?
So who are you talking about specifically?
Well, I think it was Brian. Because who was the commentator? It was DC Michael.
And it wasn't Anik. It was I can't think of the other guy's name off the top of my head. But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, you can't talking to me at the weigh-ins, and I was like, yeah, yeah, man, I've been waiting. Coach makes us choose one word for the year, and mine was patience because I'm like, obviously, you guys follow my career. I never said no to a fight. I'm always fighting at all times. Like that was my 7th fight in the UFC. Like that's insane to even say, you know. Like I know vets that have been fighting in the UFC for 10 years, and they only have like 18 fights, 17 fights, you know, and I'm already halfway there, you know. I was like, for me to see that, but they were like, oh yeah, like this is the worst experience. I was like, not really. I was like, it's rough, yeah, 100%. It's tough, but it's like this what makes you a man, or makes you as a better human being, because of the struggles and then the obstacles you see right now, which is like 433 days to fight and find a fight and a new weight class. And like you said, the pressure to win, the pressure to represent your country, the pressure to represent my family and all that stuff. So and I was like, yeah, that's who I am. I'm still gonna enjoy and smile and just move on. It's like not the worst experience of my life.
So I think you're talking about Brendan Fitzgerald. The name just came to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brandon. Yeah, I gotta have a talk with him next time when I see him.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about that layoff in the drop in weight class down to 135. Was that primarily, one of the main things that you've been working on over the last year, was kind of transforming your body a little bit to make 135 easier?
Yeah, man. It's not just that. It's more about like just getting mentally like in there. You know, I feel like that was too much on my head and too much on my just going on. You know, it's like fighting. You had the highs and highs, the lows and lows, and like seeing a new weight class and all that stuff. And like you said, to get your body prepared for that too as well. So I wanted to do it professionally. You know, I don't want to be like rushing it out there again. Like, oh, when I'm gonna fight, where I'm gonna fight. You know. But it got to a certain point of like, hey, like I need to fight now. Like it's been a minute, but this is like was the best weight cut I had even at 45. The last fight, which is crazy to say to me.
Yeah, that's impressive, especially since you went down a full weight class, a full 10 pounds right there.
And I fought basically the same size guy who's a lot bigger than me, to be honest, if you think about it. But I was like, damn. I was like 45. It was way bigger.
So how do you think you're going to fare at bantamweight versus featherweight? Do you feel like this is just going to be very beneficial for you as far as size and strength goes for your new weight class?
Oh, but 100%. I think this is the best decision we ever made, and I think this is gonna be the new home for me. It doesn't matter if it's in the UFC or anywhere else. This is the new home, and this where you guys will see me at from now on.
Well, that actually leads into my next question, because you said it doesn't matter if it's in the UFC or anywhere else. What is your UFC contract like right now? Do you have any fights left, or do you have to work on a new deal?
I don't know, man. It's up to my manager. I feel like he has to work on a new deal, to be honest. Especially I felt like I won that fight 100%. So for me to, because you know when your opponent knows he didn't win that fight when he doesn't say a single word. He's just like, thank God I got a draw, you know. And I was like whatever, but I was like, yeah, I feel like I won that fight, and I feel like I deserve a new contract for that, to be honest.
Are you going to be disappointed if the UFC doesn't resign you, or would you be happy fighting for Bellator, PFL, and other big time organization?
I really don't care, man. To be honest, I was like, I let it to the fate. To be honest, fate decide that for me. I really don't care if UFC resigns me or not, or any other promotion. I'm keep doing what I'm doing best and enjoy and whoop some people's asses.
Well, last question for me: time frame for your next fight. When are you hoping to fight next, for whatever promotion it might be? And is there someone that comes to mind that would be a good dance partner?
Man, I'm definitely want to fight in December or November. But one person that's been running, hopefully, will be in the UFC. It's what's his name, Vince Morales, out here was saying, oh, he had staff. He was the one who's supposed to fight on the San Diego card, and he's like, oh, I got staff, blah blah blah. I can't train. but I see posts, I see pictures and him training and all that stuff. So he was running for that ass whooping. I'll call him out.
How do you think that fight goes?
Oh, I kill that kid. He knows I kill him.
All right, man. Well, I sure hope the UFC re-signs you. Again, I mean, even though it was a majority draw, it was still impressive. You finished the fight with Da'Mon very, very strongly. So congrats to you on that, my man. It always is good talking to you. Before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, my man. Like I said, it's been a minute since we did an interview. I think it's been like 440 days, literally. That's how long it's been. So it's a pleasure, my man. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate you. Yeah, man. You guys can follow me on Instagram, the Moroccan Devil, and Facebook, Youssef Zalal. You know, it's simple as that.